Hello, traders. Welcome back to Indie Review. We test, we don't judge. I'm your host, Isaac. Call me KK. Today, we'll be looking at how to set up the SRT Levels Pro EA, the expert advisor on MetaTrader 5 desktop application. The SRT Levels Pro EA is compatible with MT5, only no, not MT4, but MT5. All right, then. So, we just first so already I have the EA in my expert advisor folder on the MetaTrader already. So I'm just going to open a chart, go to the markets, watch, and then I'm using the Deriv accounts, which is a demo accounts from Deriv. I'm opening Boom 1000. I know most people use the dark theme. I prefer to use a white theme. I already have a template set up for my indie review, so I just go for my indie reviews template. Yeah, attach it to this thing. I already have the EA attached. I'm just going to remove the EA and then go through the process step by step. All right, so we'll go to the navigator for the indicators and expect advisors. All right. And then I just take my demo, just using points. I have two of them, so I'm using this one, I'm using the points. Yep. Okay. So we look at the input parameters. Usually when you load it, this should come up like this. You see the information view, overview, and then you make sure they allow algo trading is ticked, and then go to input. That's where you set your trading parameters. So first we'll start with the magic number. Magic number assigns a unique number to the EA, so you can use this here on so many charts. All you have to just give it a different magic number. Each must have a unique magic number. The default is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to set this to 10. My lot size for risk management, I'm just going to put this one at 1 because I'm using boom. 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 The minimum I think is 1, so I'm setting it to 1. My stop loss, this is just telling me the trade has already occurred on crash 300. This buy has been executed. And the reason for the buy is that it shows that it bounced on the support level. Right. So let's continue. So you just have to set your stop loss, take profit, everything over here. All right. So for boom, I'm just going to set this at 50. No, let me set that 10,000. And then set my take profit to 2,000, 200,000. Yeah. Set my break even to 8,000. So the break even, what that is that once the trade is in profit about 8,000 points, it's moved the stop loss from where it is to the entry, and then it stays there. I'm not going to set this trillion step. When I set this trillion step, it starts moving the stop loss behind the market until if the market reverses and it hits it or it hits the take profit, right? So I'm going to leave that. We have maximum positions to open per signal. So I'm going to set this to 1. I just wanted to open 1 position per signal, and I'll explain why I'm setting 1 later when we set up the trade. And this is our last slippage. I'm setting it to default at 3. Now with the risk management, these are part of risk management. I just separated them so it's easier for people to know. I'm going to set this to false because if this is true, if I said this is true, it's only going to take this into consideration. It's going to ignore all of these because it's going to trade. We're going to use this loss size. So here's a maximum risk per trade. Usually most traders risk 1%, so it says was 1%. So if you like to use the risk management, use this one, or you stick to this. So because I'm going to use this, I'm just going to turn this one off. So if you are to use this, turn it on and wouldn't take effect. So it says 1%. Your daily drop down, it depends on you, maybe this. We have margin based lot adjustment. I'm just going to set false. Let's leave this there because once these ones are for, there's nothing to do. These ones are for volatile. If I'm trading volatile, I'm expecting to apply 1.5 to the average true rate. So I'll just leave that one. And then we have confirmation settings. So most traders have wait for confirmations when they are trading, and I've incorporated this in our system. So with this, you can set the confirmation for breakouts to how many candles you'd want to wait before a trade is triggered, like we would do if we are maybe sitting our trades. Sometimes when there's a breakout, you would want to wait for maybe 2 or 3 candles to confirm because you don't want a false breakout or a false reversal, etc. So you can also do the same. You can set the number of candles to confirm. So here just going to leave them 0. I want it to be an instant execution. I don't want it to wait to do any confirmation. Once there's a reversal, I should just open a trade. Once there's a retest, I should open a trade. Or once there's a breakout, I should open a trade. Right? But you can set it based on your trading strategy. If you are using support, resistance, or trend lines to trade, you can just based on how you wait for your confirmation. It could be 2 candles, 3 candles, or one. It's all up to you. So I'll just leave those ones to 0. And then we have the alert system. So we have the pop-up alerts. I set it to true. So this is a pop-up alert. This is one of the pop-up alerts. We have email alerts and we have push notifications. So push notification sends an alert to your mobile phone, your MetaTrader 5 app on your phone, but you have to get your Meta ID from the mobile phone application to input it in the desktop application for you to receive the alert. So what does is that when you're away from your laptop and there's an alert, you get it on your phone and you'll be able to track your trades, etc. And when we go down, we have alerts when prices S points away from a level. So what this is more like a proximity thing. So it's going to alert you when the market is approaching a level, right? So this one is included to allow traders who would always want to be around before a trade is triggered, to help them kind of monitor the trade before it triggered, or help them decide whether to go ahead with the trade or um, cancel the trade if it triggers. So I'm going to set mine to 20 points so that if the market gets close to the support or a trend line, it should alert me. Then I can check on my system and say, okay, um, is it playing according to my analysis, right? And then over here we have the visuals. So we have the support object prefix and the resistance object prefix. So what this object is referring to is your support resistance lines or zones or your trend lines. Now, this system will only identify a support when the label begins with with support, or you can even change it. I can change it to S. So which means if I'm labeling anything on the chart and that thing is support, I want it to be referred to as support. I have to start it with S or support button. So I'm going to keep the default support there. It's the same with resistance. And these are the color codes. So I'm setting the color for support. The default is blue. You can change it. Resistance is red. And then when support is broken, we know that when support is broken, it becomes resistance. And so it gives we there's a color assigned to the new resistor that is formed to magenta. So when I see magenta on the screen, it will tell me that it was a support that has been broken. And then when the resistance is broken, it becomes support. So green, assign a color to it as green. So this tells me that anytime I see a green color on the chart, apart from the candlesticks, it tells me that it was a resistance that has been broken and is now support. So now that we've gone through all of these, I think we are good to go. Let me just set this to 1 to 1 ratio. Okay. And then we just go to OK. All right. So now we have all of these on the chart now. So we have the EA attached to the chart. So the next thing is to see how it works. So we're just going to draw our supports and resistance lines on these charts. You can do H4, start from H4 or H1. You can, it depends on which of the time frames you want to use. So we're going to start with horizontal line. So I'm just going to draw my resistance. So most people do work, others do, but for this purpose, this trading purpose, I'm going to set it to the body and not the wick. Right. So it already has the color magenta, and the reason is very simple. If we know that magenta is a support that has been broken and is not resistant, but it's because the line is already above market. So if I bring this line down, it will change color to blue because support is always low, so it changes to a color. If I bring it up, the color will change because we draw resistance above market and we draw support below the market, so it changes color. All right, and so I'm going to label. If I leave this without labeling it, it's not going to recognize it, even though it tells me that this is what's going to happen. So with this color coding, it helps you, the trader, to know where to draw your support, where to draw your resistance. Right? So we're just going to relabel this. Like I said, resistance should start with the surface resistance or with whatever you labeled it there. So I'm going to say resistance H1. Let me give it something A. So the color will change into red. So it's changed to red from magenta to red. I'm going to draw a support. I'm going to put my support here. Now I'm just going to label this as support H1A. You don't need to, you can label it whichever way you want it. I just do that so that I can tell which is which. All right. So we can just go here. So this shows that this is a support and this is my resistance. So the color matches. If you check the EA again, it shows that red, blue, and red are for support colors. Yeah. And then the same thing if you are someone who uses zones, you can do zones. So you can use the box or object box and then you draw. See, so you can use this to draw a zone. Now the same thing. If I bring this down, change this color to blue. If I move it up, change this color. So it helps you, the trader, to know where to draw your support and where to draw your resistance. Means what this means is that up here, whatever I do here should be a resistance. I can do a zone. If you're someone who draws zones, you don't need the horizontal. You can delete it and then draw your zone. Right. The difference with this is that for a trade will be triggered, the market would have to, the candle will have to cross this whole zone before it will be triggered. While for the line, once it breaks the line, it's going to open it. So it depends on how you trade. If you trade zones or you trade lines, it's all up to you. But for me, I'm just going to use the lines. Okay. So I'll go to maybe M15 to see what's happening over there. So this is what we have. Now I can draw a trend line here. So I can also trade trend line. Let me use trend line since the time is 3 minutes. Show you something here. So I'm using trend line, and I'm just trying to what I'm going to do is I want it to trigger a trade now because it's to treat it as a retest or a bounce, right? So I have to label this. This is a support. The color even tells me that I have to label it as a support. So support M15 A, and then I put T to remind me that's a trend line that I drew, and then I save it. Yeah. So I just drew the trend line through this just to let you know that if the market interacts with any of these things, it's going to open a trade. So we have 2 minutes to wait. So we just wait. So while we wait, we just start marking other zones or lines. So I can draw another. So this time around, I'm not going to use a horizontal. I'm just going to use the zone. I'm just going to draw a zone. I'm just going to label it as support. The color code tells me that that's supposed to be a support. So 5, I'm just saying, okay, it's a box. So I'm just using B to represent the box. You can label it whichever way you want. So we wait to see what happens. We just have 1 minute for it to trigger. Trade. Hopefully it triggers. So it's either it breaks out, it breaks this, or it bounces on the trend line. And using this SRT, then you'll be able to trade your um, reversal patterns, your harmonic patterns, anything. All you have to do is to draw them. Once you're able to draw the lines, the EA would interact with them and then open a trade accordingly. So we have this support. So I can draw another support here. So on M5, I have another support here. So I'm just going to use my total line, just label support M15. Yeah, so almost 16 seconds. So we see what will happen. 16 seconds. Yeah. So a trade has been opened, and so it says a sell order executed, and the reason for the sell order is there's a breakout of the support level. This, which is this one. So you realize that the support, this color was blue, and it's not changed to magenta. All right. So when we check, so this alert would also go to my phone as well. So when we check this, says that support broken at this now resistance was changed to resistance, and then the another message that came is sell order executed, breakout of support. So we can see sell order has been executed until it says there's a breakout because it's broken the trend line. Now you remember I did mention the confirmation. It's because there's no confirmation here. It's zero. That's why there was an instant execution. But if I had set it to maybe to wait for another candle, what will happen is that is the trade wouldn't be triggered. It's going to wait for another candle confirmation. The candle has to close outside the breakout and then opens a trade. So basically that's what this thing happens. It does. So you have to set your confirmation or just leave it like that. And this one opened a trade because the candle closed this candle, the I think it's a doji that is formed closed. The wick broke the support line, and so it triggered a trade. That's for instance. But if I wanted more confirmation, all I had to do is to maybe set 3 candle confirmation so that I would avoid false breakouts. So it's all up to you to decide how you want to set it up. So I think it's easy. This is easy to play around it. All right. So I'll just leave this to go. So T take profits is $20 and TPs. Stop loss is that. Yes, I'll just leave that. So I'll just try and open another one. Let's see. Um, maybe crush 1000. These are volatile volatility stuff. So just hoping there's no pre that is triggered. Yeah. So even the boom that we were trading, lot we set it to magic number 10, and the reason for the breakout was breakout of support level at this. Right? So if you set your comments on your trade, if you go to columns and set comments, you get all these reasons showing up. All right. So I think this is 20 minutes already. Let's do for crash. Okay, so I have my templates already, so I just have to do this. So it's just the same thing. You just attach it like we did earlier. So I'm just going to change this to maybe 11. I'm not going to set any. So I'm just going to leave everything like that. I'm going to leave everything as it is. I just change it, and then we just draw our support and resistance line. Yeah. So with this I'm just going to use zones. Okay, so let's draw zones. So I'm going to draw zones, and I'm just going to do the whole week. Okay, I'm just going to label this as resistance. Now check. You realize that the color will change from magenta to red. Yeah, so it's changed. So it tells me that this is a resistance that has not been broken. So I'm just going to do support. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like to draw my supports for the current market. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I've drawn my zones, and the markets will only trigger a trade only when the candle crosses this whole thing. Unlike line where it only crosses the line, it opens a trade. For zones, it has to cross. So if you are someone who trades the zones here, that's how it's going to work. Yeah. So I can go to a lower time frame and see what's happening. Yeah, so if we're trading with these ones, right, it will only open a trade after this candle close. Because it's only open a trade after this the candle closes. Because it's open a trade based on the candle close, and it will treat this as a bounce or a reversal from the resistance line and triggers the trade. So now that we don't have anything here, that's what it's going to be. Um, if I want to play a little bit around this, I can put a zone here. Let's try to draw this zone. I think I have to do another video on how to draw these zones. Right. Okay, so just going to label this as resistance. The color coding always tells you what to label there. So 5 and 15A. So once I click OK, the color is going to change to red. So if I want to do like more like a scalp, and then I'll go to the lower time frame and then draw my support resistance because I want to get in quick and get out. But if I'm doing intraday, I'll just do on a higher time frame, and then if I want to swing, I just do on the H4 and then daily. So this is what to do. So if I leave this here, and after at the end of this, it's going to trigger a trade because the candle is already in here. Right? Okay. I don't need to draw it here. I could just leave it here and wait till the market gets to this point and then comes back or comes down and do this. But this because for trading purpose, that's why I'm just leaving it like that. So okay, let's look at M5. At least this one is in the zone already. So let's see what happens and then we can end then. Now if the market gets close to this, an alert will be sent to me that the market is getting closer to a zone. So I should get ready and then check them out. You can even draw a trend line. The system would do exactly what you do. All you have to do is label your lines, your trend lines, your horizontal lines appropriately. If it's resistance, just labels resistance. So you can actually trade your flag. All I have to or a channel. All I have to do is draw it. So if let's say I have a flag, I just have to draw and then let it take effect. Okay. So let's see if there's going to be a trade. 45 seconds. Hopefully a trade is triggered. Yep. Unfortunately, I'm unable to do this on a strategy test. I just wanted to do the forward testing for us to see how it works. Whilst we are at this, you can subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know what you think about this video. Any suggestion on how to improve it? Any suggestion on how to go about these things? Just there today. You can also request for a demo version to test it out. The description will be in the link below. Now, as we can see, the sell trade has been triggered, and it says that a bounce on the resistance zone at this. So this is that's a bounce or a reversal. That's why it triggered a trade. This is a sell order has been. When I check the message, so the message says sell order executed, bounce on resistance zone at this, and then the reason. So you get these two test messages. These are the latest messages. So you get these ones coming through to you to your phone as well if you set it up. Right. Okay. So it shows that everything worked. Now we realize that the color did not change. The reason is that it is still resistant. It's the color only changes to support only when there's a breakout. Resistance changes to support when there's a breakout. Support changes to resistance when there's a breakout. So once there's no breakout, there's not going to be any color change. So this is exactly what this system is all about, right? Because I'll do another separate video, short video, just on drawing, just explain how this color coding thing works. All right, and thank you for being with me today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. I can request for a demo version from the description below. The link is in the description. Thank you very much. Have a good trading week. Take care. Look forward to reading your comments. All right. Thank you.